Hello and welcome back to Farming Simulator 25. Now, if you made it through my last episode, you will have known that I kind of cut out early for everybody, kind of cut the video short. It was dinner time for me to eat, so I went and had my dinner, and then I came back and I finished up and made a ton of cash. And when I say a ton of cash, we're up to 70 grand, whereas when we started yesterday, we only had about 7. Now, a lot of that was just the same old missions that we were doing, the hoeing missions, which, you know, were really pretty good. We did some mowing ones, and we did some fertilizing missions, and I'm actually going to borrow this unit for fertilizing. Boom, there we go. Now, we have a couple more fertilizing that we can accept the contract on. And part of the reason why I'm borrowing the unit instead of using my own unit is because this thing goes a little faster. And we'll be able to use less fertilizer. We're going to need to buy probably 3 of these. We can refill it. And this is how we're going to start our day. And we need to fill it up even more. There we go. Let's see what fields we need to go to. 77, 4, and 1 way up top. We're going to go to field 4 first. We need to make some money. This is the ideal fertilizer that we would like to have, no matter what field we're in. I think this one still cuts out at about 42 feet max. Yeah, 42 meters max. But the speed on this thing, I don't know if it has what do you call it, the precision aspect, which may help control how much we use. Okay, what do I need to do? I need to Y or B, turn on the machine and go to town. See how much faster we move in this thing than what I do in my tractor. Then we need to drop the width down a little bit. I'm thinking I'm going to drop it down to I need to control Z, go to 18 meters, turn it back on. Okay, finished. First one done. Now, gotta get out of here. What field should we do? Field 27 next, I think? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Eventually. Oh, we ran right through that car. How about that? We go ways I've never gone before. Let me look at the bigger map. Where am I at? I am right there. So yeah, let's go up to field 27. Best way to go, I think, is like this. We need to turn right here, I believe, as we drive through the town. Yeah, you're gonna stop, not me. We've got work to do. Note 25 is right up here. '27 is this way, it says. It's down there. Let's cut through this way. There's turn 28, so this is 27 right here. We're at 18 meters. We need to make that definitely bigger. Thinking about right there. Turn it on. Turn it off. We see where that's at, so we should be able to drop that to 15 meters, maybe. That gonna do it? Yeah, that'll do it. No problem. Oh, wait a second. There's a little bit of a gap up here that we didn't get. There we go. Now it's time to hit the big field. I like that this thing drives like, actually, you know what, we should complete these and see if there's any more fertilizing. There is not, so now we'll go complete this one and then see what we have. I'd like to do, I bought that baler and haven't got anything done on that. We're still in the negative on these fertilizing contracts, but this one here will put us in the positive. That is probably the biggest negative, is that we have to buy the fertilizer. Alright, cruising down to field 77. This will get us here relatively quickly, I think. Take a look at the big map. We got to go all the way over there, which is okay. Once we get this field done, I'm trying to think of what we would do next. There is a mowing contract. We could grab the there are some hoeing contracts, but these are really contracts that we've been doing a lot of, trying to get up to get ourselves a farm. Our goal, or at least my goal, is by the August month we start buying some farming equipment, or not farming equipment, farms. So we need to get some cash. That would be one full season that we didn't own any land. I'm thinking the first kind of land we should buy is what do you call it? Grassland, because that is going to make it somewhat what I would call profitable. Here we go. This is going to take some fertilizer, so, and right now we are leaving a great big gap there we're going to have to catch. A lot of weeds in this field. there's a lot of stuff we're going to have to catch here once we get done with the bulk of the field. You know, I should go this way. Don't know exactly what I'm doing. Okay, let's see, how does this spread going this way? Just fine. Alright, we are close to 70% complete at the moment. Right about there, I think, is where we want to cut back. Oh, nope, just a little too far. Oops. Straighten that up. Okay, we're 97, 98% complete, and we are done. There is another, oops, nope, we want to delete that. I don't know why that does that all the time when I do that. We want to do this field, we're really close to it, so we'll accept that contract. Any other fertilizing? There are none. There is a harvesting contract right there for spinach, which, I don't think so. Okay, so we have another field, 89. That is going back the other way. Pretty close to that field, so let's get on the road so we can travel a tad bit quicker. I'm not for sure if you are a farming simulator person that plays the game and how many series you played. This is really the first series I played. I did pick up Farming Simulator 22, kind of like for my Steam Deck. It works relatively well, and I was thinking that maybe when I get done with this series, I will do a Steam Deck version of Farming Simulator 22. I'm not quite for sure if 25 would run on the Steam Deck, but 22 runs really smooth. Now, I will tell you, I've put about, I don't know, an hour or two into 22, and between 25 and 22, there's a really big difference, especially in contracts. So that's something I'm trying to figure out. Thinking right here, no, let's move this right here, it looks like. So when we complete this contract here, this will pretty much cover all of the fertilizer we purchased. I gotta turn it off. Control Z 18, I think. We'll be close to completing this. 93% complete, so if you watch the last episode versus this one, you can see that we did 4 fields and haven't used quite 1,000 liters of fertilizer, whereas on our fertilizing machine, we would have definitely used up that fertilizer. Oh, another fertilizing contract. Let's accept. Field 13. Okay, that's just heading straight north. Yeah, we would have probably used about, I would say, 500 to 600 more liters. I'm going to continue to go this way and then turn on this road, I believe, yeah. We gotta zoom up here. If not, we can't really see where we're going. Really, seeing how I'm driving is probably the worst part of this game, in my opinion. I know first person might be better, but even at that, it's kind of hard to tell, am I in the line or not? is field 16, so we're getting close to field 13. And 17. Okay, here we are. We need to be 42. Turn it on. Turn it off. Turn it on. Got it. There we go. Another field done. We'll collect that. And we'll collect that. And no more fertilizing contracts. So before we go out and sign another contract, I'm going to leave that there for now. Let's take a look at our used equipment. What is that? That's a sprayer. Okay, that's a John Deere. It's a pretty good price. We do have a tractor already. This tractor is 175 horses. It's got a front and back. You cannot pick up the... You could do this, though. And put it up to there, but I'm not going to do that. And that's a slurry tank, which we don't have the money for. Okay, so... another fertilizing contract. That's what we're looking for. Except, boom, just keep on using this machine. Right now to make some money. We've now paid for all of the fertilizer that we bought. We still have basically 2 bags left of fertilizer. We're starting to make some money. The negative to this whole thing right now, and I'm going to say this again, is that I don't have any baling contracts. I'd like to use my baler to kind of pay for my baler, and so far I just don't have those. situate right there, I think. Turn it on. We can cut that down just a little bit. And finish this field up nice and quick. The nice thing is what are we at? 5 or 6 fields already? I like this fertilizer. I think I need to buy this thing. Or something very similar to it. We want to turn off the sprayer. No more fertilizing right now, but how much would a field like that cost? 120. What I'm thinking is we could buy a field like this. That's 72,000. This is a pretty big field. That's 64. That might be the field we buy. This one right here. This one is 150. What about 17? 74 for this farmland here. And 1,660. That's pretty expensive. 48 for that. The other option we would have is to come into this area and buy these fields right here. Right by where we could buy our house at some point in time. That would be 60,000. And what are we farming here? That's growing, whatever it is. Let's go visit that real quick. What is this? This is carrots, so this is something we'd probably want to cultivate right over. What's 245? What's right over here? This is sorghum. Let's look at our contracts. There's a fertilizing one right there. We'll accept that contract. All we're doing is fertilizing right now. We are in field 30 at the moment. Where do I want to go? I want to go right down this way, yeah. What field do we need to go to? 69. Is that crappy one? No. Okay, yep, I know where I'm going. I know where I'm going. We still have a lot of fertilizer left, so we have plenty of fertilizing fields we can do. We could do the cultivating. I'm trying to wait to get a bigger cultivating field. before we start cultivating. I could buy a cultivator. If I buy a cultivator, I could use my tractor to do those, and then we could just complete them as we go. That might be something I look at doing. But we need to buy a field, so that is something that I'm thinking about, and I'm actually thinking about buying the field close to the house, because I don't know if I was to buy another house, if I still have to go back to that farmhouse every time to move forward. Because if I do, why not buy that area and really start working that area right there? That's kind of my opinion and thoughts on that. You know, I'm going to tell you something funny. I swear I fertilized this field on the off time on the last episode. Not when you guys were watching, but when I was doing it on my own. Turn it on. Just missing that little bit of pass there. That's not very good for me. We'll get it completed, though. Oh, nope, don't even have to worry about it. Boom. We can escape, and we can collect that. And there's another fertilizing one. I think I'm going to hold out on that one. I'm not going to drive all the way back up there. We are going to knock out a couple of these real quick. We can't do the spraying yet. That's the herbicide, right? Yeah. Can't do those yet. Let's hit that there. And then let's do this contract here, because those are right next to each other. So right at the moment, we will bounce over here. We change what we're doing, but this seems like we do a lot of this anymore. Both fields are right there, so we'll be able to hit this pretty quickly. You gotta be joking. Looks like we do 55 first. Good old field 55 is a little weedy. Okay. We got that one just about done. Now we bounce right up here. And we'll do this one. This one's definitely the bigger field, but it's not going to take us long. Actually, this like the fertilizing, very quick to do these, so you can do a bunch of these contracts if they're out there and make a lot of money. Even if the field's relatively big, it doesn't take a ton of time. Part of the reason why I like doing these and the fertilizing contracts is just that. I mean, you can get through these things really pretty darn quickly. Mowing ones would be the third, because those are relatively quick. Spraying contracts are relatively quick as well. The bad thing about the spraying and the fertilizing is I have to purchase that, so that cuts into my net profits. Start to straighten the field out a little bit here. Won't be quite perfect, but run the deer over. Okay, that came to almost straightening out the field. Almost done. I always wonder why they don't make us complete more of this. It's one of those things, it must be it counts the weeds, and there's a certain number that you have to hit. It's the only thing I can think of. Yeah, we'll collect the higher value. Fertilizing, harvesting, mowing. Okay, so we can do the mowing contract. Not thinking that's what I want to do. We'll probably do the deadwood real quick. We can, actually, before I do that, let me check something out here. I only have that trailer. So how much money would it cost me Okay, that's not that much money, but I was thinking, is there an auto load? Even something like that wouldn't be too bad, but that's a no. Nope. Okay, what do I want to do? Do I want to do that, or do I want to just knock the trees down? Let's just knock the trees down. I'm not going to waste my time collecting them. Yep, you're saving. Get me to field 5. Or no, actually, field 6 is probably better. That's sorghum. I see one dead tree. We're entering the circle at the moment. There might be a dead tree over here. This was a low contract, so it's either 6 or 7 trees. There's a couple right there. This has a nice little barn in it. We could probably come get this stuff. I mean, it's not that difficult. Not quite on that one. See, the thing that I don't like is I have a hard time, and I don't know why it's so hard, trimming. See, like right there we go. That got that. Didn't get any there, but we can get it going this way. Yeah, I don't care too much about that at the moment. We've already got, yeah, we only need 3 more trees. Knock that tree down. There's another tree right there. One more tree. Where is it at? Is that it? I think that's it right there. That tree's down. And we can complete that contract. Let's take a look at what we got here. We got the fertilizing. Nothing really, so I guess we could collect the wood. Use my super strength at the moment. I think there is only 5 trees here, so just kind of I don't even know if I'm interested in that piece of wood. I mean, maybe if I was a little more... Okay, that did it. Okay. Okay, we got a little bit of it done. I'm thinking cut right about here. And then split this kinda in half. That one's a little long. And that one's a little short. Okie dokie. I think we only have one or two more trees out here. One of them is right here. There we go. Let's chop it there. Okay, we got that little bit. There we go. And with that, that's about as much as we're going to cut right now. We're going to hop in my tractor. I'm going to drop that there. I'm going to grab my trailer. And we're going to cruise down to this field. And we're going to pick up some wood. After we get the wood picked up, we're gonna go sell it and complete the deadwood contract. There'll probably be another deadwood contract that pops up almost right after that, but I'm not too worried about that one. In the winter time, we'll probably do the deadwood contracts more frequently, but I don't really need to do them. I think, there's my lumber right there. This piece is a little long, but that's why we put it on first. Actually, that fits on there pretty good. Pretty happy with that. I need... First, well, I can't pick up that sign. That's not good. Oh, oh, oh. Why did it do that? There we go. That's the one that's a little long. But it will work. Yeah, we do not have that much left to throw on here, which is fine. I'm thinking this is probably about $300 to $400 worth of lumber. Not a ton, but that would get me about a 50% increase from just cutting it down. And I'm losing that piece of wood. Let's do that. Let's strap that down and let's go sell it. It's not stacked perfect, but you know what? Doesn't have to be. It's strapped down. Then we can complete this and yeah. That'll be another dime in my pocket. And this is my personal tractor, which, you know, not a bad pickup in the game. You know, the one thing I wish is that when John Deere was available, when I was buying, it was almost half the cost. Of course, you're going to come down this way just to irritate me. For some reason, I missed. I know where the lumber place is, but for some reason I just don't want to get it. It's over there. That's where I can sell my lumber at. Yeah, I'm just going to get out of the way. There we go. Let's unstrap it. Hop out. Let's make some money. Oh, almost $700. Much more than I thought it was going to be. Okay, we got 2 fertilizing contracts, which is good. So we can complete that. We're going to collect that. Fertilizing, what harvesting? Spinach and spinach, not interested. 44 and 27. They're both pretty close to each other, so yeah, we'll accept. Bam. But before we do that, we're gonna take you back to the shop. And then we'll go hop in our fertilizer and do these fertilizing contracts. Yep, we'll park you right over here, right next to there. Okay, we are, where are we at? We're there. So it would be best to cruise up and over. Well, no, where's our fertilizing? 44. So yeah, I know what I'm doing, I think. That guy not stopping. Once we get 44 done, we'll complete it, and then we'll go do 27. But we will check and see if there's anything else that we might be able to do. Hope a train doesn't come by and hit me. Close to 44. There's 43. There it is. So we should be able to do this in one pass. I don't think we'll need two. I'm going to probably go right about here. Back it up. Turn it on. Yep, this is a nice quick one. We could have did this in one pass in my tractor as well, in my fertilizing kit, which would have probably used about the same amount. We need to complete that one, so we collect. And now we're going to go do this one, which is nice and quick. We're not going to borrow anything. I couldn't see coming all the way up here just to do that one for under $1,000, but when you do both of them and it gets us about $2,000, that makes it a little more worthwhile. I don't know if we're gonna have to do a half pass on this one, I think. Okay, yeah, yep, we're gonna have to do just a little bit of a half pass. We'll go all the way up. And then we will turn that off. Go down to 18 meters. Probably 18 meters is not... We'll go right here like that. Turn it on. And we'll cruise right down here like that. And it's done. Turn it off, complete that contract. And we got another fertilizing contract, field 10, which we're actually relatively close to, so we'll accept that. Boom. Back. And let's get over to field 10. Which, if the train tracks weren't in the way, we could literally just cut straight over this way, but they're in the way, so we've got to go through field 15 to get field 10. As I said, if those train tracks weren't in the way, it'd be an easy just zip right across, and there we are. Okay, let's back this up. This is going to probably be a 2-pass. Oops, that's not good. Turn that off. Now turn that on. This will definitely be a better way to hit that. Okay, turn it off. Back it up. Turn it back on. And finish the field if I can. There we go. And we can complete that. Boom, done. Okay, so I think it's time to make a decision. And that is, first of all, let's look for a hoeing. That's 36,000. And what's our meters? 12 meters for that? 95, 12 meters. That's 6 meters. So no, we want to go this one here. We have the horsepower, so we can actually buy that. So we are going to buy this puppy. And since we bought that, we no longer need to have that tractor. So we're going to collect. Boom, done. 36,000, we bought a hoeing unit, which is actually good. We need to look at what else we need. So I'm thinking I need a windrower. 19,000. How many? That's 8 meters, 80 horsepower. This is more of a tedder, isn't it? No, that's a windrow. .5 meters, no. 3 meters. 7. 8.4. And that gets it there. So we are actually going to... I'm going to buy this unit right here. Okay. And then I need... We got $30,000 left. And I'm just looking at the horsepower, and I don't think that's what we want to do yet. Okay, so now we're going to see what contracts we got. And we lease that, we make no money. We can at least make some money here. We'll accept this contract, and we're going to go do it. Back, I am going to tab. These are, let me queue that. Oops, let me, over here. What we don't have is a mower. You know what? Let's just move that right over here. We do have the cultivator, so now this is actually something good for us. I do like this. Now I can do my own cultivating. I don't have to borrow or lease anything per se. We need to just kind of fast jump over to field 79, which is, we'll visit there. The field's over there. There is a house here. I'm guessing it's right here. We'll jump the tree. Yeah, we're not going to go collecting this wood. This is just cut it down and go. Make some quick dollars. I think that's a tree right there. And I think that's one. Yeah, that's marked. Will this get me to 50%? Yes, it will. There's one there. Is that two or just one? That looks like two. Okay, that's right on the edge, so maybe down here? I'm not for sure. Kinda looks like it. Sometimes they're a little tricky and they put one in and they don't mark them, even though they're dead. Yeah, not there. Nope, that's not one. I don't see anything there. The hunt is on. I think I have two more trees. That looks like one there. That's one. Where would the last tree be? There it is. Alright, we found him. Let's collect our money there. Collect BAM. That's good. Another fertilizing, number 3. There's 2 mowing ones. Now the mowing ones would make some sense. So we'll borrow, boom. And then we're going to do the other one as well. Where is it at? Bam. We'll accept. And let's go tab our way into here. Both fields are pretty close to each other. Probably 12 is closer than 35, so we'll go hit that. Okay. X, B, and B. Do the same thing. Zoom out a little bit. going to tell you that I probably prefer the double mowers in the back than the one and the one in the front. It just doesn't feel comfortable, I guess. Especially trying to mow with the front mower. Now, if this was all the money that I had or to buy, then yeah, that'd be fine. But I'm gonna say not 100% comfortable with this. A small field, this would probably be just fine, you know. A temporary thing, just fine. This field, this is, I almost would think there's something better out there. This tractor's struggling, going up hills. Yeah, I am getting hungry, so I think we're going to be cutting this pretty short here. Once we get done mowing this field, we're 51%, and yeah, I'm going to just reiterate it. This is not the mowing setup I like. I mean, if it's what I had to use because it's, you know, all the money I had, and I would get it and I would use it, but I would be replacing it relatively soon, especially if I had a lot of fields. It would almost be better, personally speaking, if it was like we were using, how can I put it, just the back end and not the front. I think I could move faster that way. I'm glad I used this because now I know I don't like this setup. I mean, I wasn't for sure before because this is the first time I've ever used this setup for mowing, and I do not like this setup. Going this way, is this any better? Going this way, it might be better. Let me, yeah, going this way on the setup, definitely a better way to do it. Still don't like the setup, but if I was to choose a way to do this, this is how I'd probably go. This feels more like when you have the duals on the back. And I think that's why I like it better, because it's easier to line up this back than it is the front when you're mowing. I'm just gonna screw around here a little bit. There we go, finished. Now going to the other field, which this field is considerably smaller, so this setup probably would work better for this field. But again, as I said, setup-wise, I really prefer to have the dual. I would like to try the one that just has the one in the back. I haven't tried that yet, but right now, if I look at my comfort zone, it would be a dual setup. Now for a field like this, I'm not quite for sure. This field's pretty small. So this mower, so far on this field, just fine. But, I mean, it's a small field. It's pretty uniform in shape, in my opinion. Yeah, I could use this mower on a field like this. It wouldn't be ideal, but if it's the money that I had, absolutely. with the complete idea that I'd be selling this off, you know, as soon as it would be viable to. And I guess a better word would be trading it in. We're 90% complete. We are going to complete both of these. And then I'll probably do some missions offline, whether it's hoeing. I was hoping there would be a cultivating contract pop up, but there hasn't been, so no cultivating. There we go. You know what? We are going to collect and collect. So we have a couple of fertilizing contracts we can do. So yeah, we're going to probably accept those. There's a hoeing contract we can do as well. So we can use that. So I'm going to do those contracts offline. If you look at that, that's an extra $24, an extra $5,000 there. Time-wise, it's only 3 o'clock, so we probably got about 4 game hours, or probably about 3 game hours to go. So with that, that's about where I'm going to stop. If you made it this far, thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated. And with that said, stay safe and bye for now.